I think we're alive. I must be because I see delay, but it could be my bad Wi-Fi. I'm Dr. Mike, and if you don't know me, we're live. Yeah, we're live. We're feeding back, aren't we? All right, so I'm gonna have to do. See the live, or just my bad mind. So, folks, if you don't know me, I'm sort of a social philosopher who is also a serial entrepreneur. Just have a lot of ideas winding around in my mind, and so my backdrop is I guess I can stop confusing myself by what I'm doing. I'm looking at myself and on the YouTube as I'm recording it, and the live stream is delayed, so I'm seeing myself 3 seconds back. It's confusing me, but I've gone back to my Zoom, which provides me this backdrop because I'm going to take off the backdrop and you'll see why. But first, the point. So if you don't know me and what I'm doing, so so it's like I don't know if I'm left brained or whatever it would be, but I'm missing the right brain. What I'm missing. So what I'm saying is I'm a producer, but I'm missing my cohort, my co-producer, who would sort of put this in perspective because this is not a blue screen, but it's a fake backdrop. And so literally my windows are open, the lighting, this camera's not set up right. But the idea is pretty good. And I have the domain, right? So newfilmreviews.com. And this week, I was hanging out with Hugh Jackman, man. Did you imagine Hugh Jackman, Wolverine? He was in Milwaukee because he was at a film premiere of a film or a movie he made or he's starting. And it was in Milwaukee. And I got invited, courtesy of Alex Bauer, our friendly Milwaukee socialist alderman. So, because the story takes place in Milwaukee, what they say is that Hugh said, "Man, we got to do the premiere in Milwaukee," and I got invited. I was there, so it was like pretty cool. And I'm thinking, what a great opportunity to make use of this domain name. And I was telling the PR people, "Yeah, I'll post something to, that night. It was Tuesday night. Today's Saturday, if you don't know." And I wrote it up and everything. I had to sort of see because it's a new movie. It's like usually you want to base it on what other reviewers are saying, but it's so new. It hasn't even opened yet. I mean, officially around Christmas. But obviously, some people get advanced, showing opportunities. Particularly, if I was back in LA, I'd be doing the red carpet with this domain, you know, newfilmreviews.com. So I did the write up. But knowing me, have I posted it? Have I put the framework in? You see, look, it's already better like that. So there's something missing in my world that would take it exponentially to the next level. So maybe you have that solution. So let's take a moment. So I was calling this, see the little light device? Calling this segment eye awareness because that's what inspired me. I put this on. I go, well, I could do a recording. I need to upload it. I guess I could just read my own review and that could be the video. Then I could send the link and I'm done. But couldn't this be part of the podcast channel? And then I'm also thinking of why not a VIP film club where indies directors and producers have a place to put their stuff up and they could upsell or pay to get a review and we could help them with the PR, press release and all that. Get some exposure at the festivals if we start exhibiting because we'd be doing new film reviews and running the VIP film club, which is a membership thing. And it's targeted to this group. Now, I feel myself being kind of a part of it just because I got some history, but I got no right to be here other than having a domain name and talking about these ideas. But the goal is to sort of come from it from a whole brain perspective. So I need a team or community, and I need a real director, from the divine director comes. And you are the co-publisher of this. You are, lovingconversations.com. You helped us boil align some of these really, really kind of mind-blowing ideas and sort of say, okay, I'm going to help them out. Oh, I only read these for reading, but looking at my backdrop. But I'm going to drop the backdrop so you really see the truth. I put the glasses back on. So why I do this is because some people are interested in this, like, are you call yourself a social philosopher and you're talking about awareness? You can go to grandtourideas.com. But my teacher, one of my teachers, we call him Happy Face because in his tribal world, I'm Grey Wolf. Oh, Grey Wolf said hello? Well, tell him hello back. So that's an invitation I wanted to do because he taught me about eye awareness. What kind of awareness? Eye awareness. Well, be awareness? Yeah, kind of. Eye awareness. You can have an awareness of something else, but I'm saying this could be eye dash awareness. Just replace the A on awareness with eye awareness. What is this? So the teacher sort of taught like, well, sense of self, what is happening, I've kind of adopted it through a TWA approach related more to acting cars, like being aware of your thoughts and the words. What are you saying, and how are you acting? TWA, the flight you take every day. And so having this kind of weird backdrop and sort of bad camera angle kind of makes me kind of a little misty and mysterious, but hopefully in a positive way, trying to come up through the mist or whatever it would be, ocean's darkness, to say, hey, there's some opportunity for you're careful the word, like saying be reborn or reconciliation or rehabilitated, to come to some kind of clearing to where we are able to see the forest from the trees. Really, that's not the right button, but we're getting there. We're getting there at some point. You see, this got to be somebody else's job, and I think about it, I'm more technical than most. Right? This would be the more appropriate one, I would think. What? Nice doggy, the cat. But anyway, let's get rid of it all, and and let's just look at. Oh, we're back in San Francisco. Remember the experience we never had? Monday, back to work. Mondays. We'll help you get it kicked off. Blur is appropriate, but this is what you're dealing with. Actually, it's not too bad, but isn't it still kind of blurry, or is it just my? I don't have any other effects on. I'm just blurry. So Grey Wolf, it means the invisible teacher. Interesting how I got that name. So that's a whole episode, if not a podcast, onto itself. And after all this rambling, my podcast, if you're curious about this, is called mikesmastermind.com, mikesmastermind.com. And you can find a collection, a sample platter of my writing at grandtourideas.com. Needs to be updated about a year old or two. grandtourideas.com. So anyway, why I jumped on the live stream was because this idea of awareness is that we're coming to the end of the year. And hopefully it's been, if you're going to quantify time, the last 12 months, or if you think about like midway in the decade now, sort of like, well, it's time to take out, perhaps a journal and reflect on things. And for me, it's like, well, what's moving forward? And I could have these ideas for, hey, I could just live my life and be a film reviewer. And I don't think I'd be a very good one, because the critique on my level as a social philosopher would be like, okay, it's maybe not meant by the, what the movie was about, but there's a deeper translation. And so coming long circle back, like, what was the name of that movie that Hugh Jackson is starring in? Song Song Blue. So Song Song Blue, Neil Diamond. I won't give much away. This is not the review, other than to say it's a really great movie. And not just because I got to be 10 feet away from Hugh Jackson now, Well, yeah. So it takes place in Milwaukee, and it's about, like a lot of artists and musicians that just love to play, and they may not have certain personas or identities themselves that they project on stage, although they may, but maybe with a lack of success, they need to adapt somebody else's. So instead of saying that it's Neil Diamond being impersonated, because some people think it's a movie about Neil Diamond, and it isn't. You think at some point he might show up, but I'm not killing it. It's no big mystery that this is not about Neil Diamond, and don't expect him to show up. Although there's a lot of teasers. Maybe he will. One day he's 84, living in Colorado. I don't know, but it's amazing. He's still alive, and there's a movie about an impersonator who kind of made a name for himself in Milwaukee. And what was happening is a couple, and the couple, the female, is played by Kate Hudson, and so which is quite amazing, because I got to meet the character that Kate modeled. It's quite interesting, and Kate couldn't make it out, but Hugh Jackman was here. Yeah, we're like this, All right. So the premise of all this is how we play out in life, and thinking about, the premise of a Song Sung Blue, how we're living our lives. And so it's a great movie in that capacity, because each character, I'm not giving stuff away, has to confront themselves. And so that was the one thing I got from the other reviews that I could find online. Like, I don't know if it was Variety. Definitely I read IndieWire and a few others, which are the trades, man. And so I know something, but not enough, and not too much, really. It just seems like he talks a lot about something. So this awareness plays into this, because that's what you could say what we're all confronting, but what this movie was so great at. And so, if you're a big fan of Neil Diamond songs, so just appreciate it for what it is. But just why it's being released around Christmas is obviously it's a family story, and it is very good. That's it. You know, it's 5 stars. That's my rating. So, and so, do I develop these properties, which we could think of a podcast channel, which is a brilliant idea. I mean, come on, and having that domain. But what's with this boy? He's got so many ideas, and just within the concept of a podcast channel, you have more than one podcast. Now, people, it's kind of cool how this new technology and this app thing is supposed to help me move around and see how we can do it. Can you do it? I don't know. I'll play with it some more. Look, I need to be produced. I need to be directed, and I need a good editor. I need people to buy into these ideas of a podcast, because what it means if it's a community for me, it's total buy-in. It's to me a cooperative. And if we ever go public or have investors, we all get shares, and we're all going to be great at this. And yeah, podcast now developed right is it's equivalent to any other a media entity out there, network or otherwise. It's a few hundred million. It's just it just you can't conceptualize it. You can't be a part of it. Because that's all it is. It's like this is would be this universe of this podcast channel, creator, cosmos. Yes, that's what it is, creator cosmos. Because we're tied to so many different things. And for me, as a social psychologist, what am I looking for as a social philosopher? Because I'm not qualified to be a psychologist. I maybe should see one, definitely. So and talk to them. Yeah, that would be a panel for one of the podcast episodes. What's this the game show? What's wrong with this ball? It's something new. It's called. He's trying to get to enlightenment. Everyone say it together. Enlightenment. So what's that about? So in my search, and I have to relate it back to at least 9 years old, but I could say for sure 13 because I had joined the New Age religion in her Eckankar. So I believe that sort of like, oh, well, we're having a physical embodiment, of a spiritual experience. So everyone else kind of go the other way around. Like, I hope my soul goes to heaven. So I always thought, like, who are they talking about? Who's speaking? It's like, I hope my soul. Who are you then? I always thought like this is soul. I'm spirit embodied. It's like, and so some days are better than others because sort of like, oh, is this a good spiritual day or is it a bad one? And I'm not checking my horoscope, but just sort of like, am I having the realizations I really want to have? So what I learned from Dr. David Jubb, who is a happy face, and that's the reverse of disguise too. It's like, which is the real one? I'd say happy face is the amorphous. You could say really taking care of my 13-old pursuit of finding a master was pretty much the closest physical, you could say, manifestation, because, how things appear, particularly when you're doing lodges, talking about sweat lodges in the mountains. You're with a bunch of characters who are going to put a bunch of hot rocks into a hut, and we're all going to go in there naked and hang out there for about an hour or two, sing songs, beat the drum, and we'll come to some sort of realization. What? Just start off with awareness. What is it? Be conscious of what it is you're thinking, how you're talking, and how you're acting. It's a good place to start. And we'll talk about the cave analogy next. I've talked long enough here, but go to grandtourideas.com. Learn more. Thank you. This was a lot of fun. I guess I'm going to end it. Thanks. On all channels. Couldn't still be on, right? Am I still recording? I think I got out of the Zoom, right? Let's see if I'm recording. Damn. Was that a good intermission if I am? Let's see. I had to get a drink and I was out of my libation. Hmm. It don't look too bad like this, you know. I doubt I'm still streaming, but let me see. And I can record. How do I, how do I, oh, I think I closed the window. I must have closed the window. Oh, I must have closed all the windows. Damn. Oh, man. I'm glad I'm not recording this part. I would have done it. Let's see. Could be toddler brain. Wow. Mm.
Okay, that is a picture of Mr. Round.
Mm. That's kind of cool.
With you, yeah. Did you see the you? It's interesting how Candace's story just seems to merge with every other story she cares about.
Okay, you friggin' vultures, what dumbass questions do you have for me today? And remember, you're the ask questions.
Is the president using the justice system for his own personal vendettas against the Democrats?
Okay, first of all, fix your tone. Second of all, if the president hates someone, you should hate them too. That's how this works. Okay? Like, for example, the president hates you too. And honestly, given all the attitude you just gave me, same. Next question. The president says he will release the Epstein files, but critics are concerned that the documents will be heavily redacted. Get comfortable, you guys, because it is going to be.